Hi there, my name's Andrew Adams from Parker Adams Boat Sales. I'm here today in Port Solent and I have behind me an Axopar 28. It's a 2017 model and it's a Model R, which is a special edition 2017 Mark 1. As you can see from these drone images I've just taken, it's a stunning looking boat. I just absolutely adore the grey on the white and it really does look superb. I'm really excited to bring you this walkthrough tour, which is coming up next.
Before you get started, check out our Parker Adams Superstore with loads of main brands for upgrading your boat, such as Raymarine, Garmin and Fusion. Check it out after this video.
So as I mentioned, this Axopar is a 2017 Model R. Now the Model R is the precursor to the Brabus line, and you can really see where the Axopar Brabus lines got their ideas from, as what this boat has is many of the same features that you found on the later Brabus line, which was introduced for the Mark II. Now I actually had a Mark I Axopar and I absolutely loved it, and in fact some of the features that exist on the Mark I felt should have been moved across to the Mark II. They're fantastic boats. We took a Mark I all the way down to Dartmouth from the Hamble and back in a day. Fantastic trip, very self-assured, a fantastic boat. So I'm excited to bring a Mark I Axopar to the channel. So what I'm going to do is have a good run through the boat. The first thing to note is that the boat is powered by a Mecury Verado 350. Now the 350 gives absolutely superb performance on this boat and will push the boat along in excess of about 43-44 knots. So it really is a fantastic engine option to have, the 350. I mentioned about the black rails that run all the way down here. On the Axopar Mark I, the rails are lifted up, which is great if you've got family or children because it gives that little bit more security to walk around, and they're anodized black, so you can see it gives it a really sleek appearance. And I love the contrast between the grey hull, the white cabin, and then the owners actually had this wrapped at the top here as well, which mirrors the rest of the boat, and it all looks really, really lovely. So as we step on board the back of the Axopar, you've got the usual Esotec, which is laid down here, so it's a synthetic teak. There isn't a teak then laid throughout, but you've got a really nice non-slip surface, which is nice and easy to keep clean and can be jet washed very easily. The arrangement on the back is you've got this sun pad cushion on the back, and if you have people sitting down here, they can also hold onto this grab handle that sits here. You've also got access to the rear cabin just through your skylight just in there, so you can open that up and get access to the rear. You have two lockers at the back, so you've got a locker on this side which houses a fire extinguisher, and then also on the other side you have another locker in there. You can see I've got the cover there just laid down there, forgot about that, and the ensign is in there, and there's also a manual bilge pump in there as well. I like the fact these are supported by little hydraulic struts which keep them up when you're not holding on to it. So laid to this nice Silvertex upholstery on the back here. And you can see up at the top you've got a remote control searchlight. There's no radar on this boat, but one could be fitted. And then you've also got a cover here which is over the roof, which gives that roof just a little bit more protection. So as we keep walking forward, I'll now move forward to the bow, because quite a lot of the Mark I Axopars didn't come with an electric windlass. Mine didn't, and I have to say it was something that I really wished it had, but this particular one does. So you can see just there is a really nice stainless steel anchor. It's a 7.5 Bruce style anchor, and if you want to then get access, you just lift that cushion off, twist this and open it up, and you can see that it's a rope, so it's a rope all the way down to the electric anchor winch, and that runs that in and out there, which is nicely stored inside there. The Axopars, you do have a lot of external storage, so underneath, just pop that back on. It's on studs, but I won't pop that back on because the owner's keeping all of these inside the cabin during the winter months. Inside here, if we lift this up, you can see excellent storage all the way along there, and that runs all the way through into that front locker, which can also be lifted up there, and then your shore power outlet is just inside here. Obviously you've got a table arrangement on here. Now on the Axopars you have two levels of table poles. So the table poles can either be really high, which is their position now for dining, or you can replace these two poles and have two short poles, which then can turn this whole area here into a sun pad, which adds a lot of versatility for the summer. Of course the Axopar does have a head. The head is external, so we open that up and you can see a manual toilet there, cold running water, switch panel down in the side, and then if you pop this mirror off, you've got access to all of the controls behind. The boat is also fitted with heating, and you can see there's a heating vent there inside, so if you are in the middle of the night and you need to get access to the toilet, at least it's a cosy, warm place to go. So if we walk around the side decks, let's go inside the boat and I'll talk to you about some of the differences with the Mark 1 and the Mark 2 Axopar. So it feels very, very familiar inside here. As you know, Parker Adams, we have an Axopar 28 cabin that we charter out of the Hamble, but this feels very, very familiar. It's a great inside cabin space and you always feel very cosseted and protected when you're inside an Axopar cabin. One of the things that I really like, and I wish they hadn't got rid of it, is the Mark 1's always had this iPad holder here. So you slide an iPad into the top and you can have Navionics charts or anything you like onto there, which is, I think they're brilliant. I'm so sad that they got rid of that in the Mark 2s and the Mark 3s. You've then got it's a 9-inch plotter just inside there, and then you've got your Mecury data all displayed on a vessel view screen there for the 350. All the lights all light up in here, so you can control your windscreen wipers, your horn, your bilge pumps, your nav lights, all on these really nice lights. And when you press the nav lights on, they're all backlit there. Something I did notice when I drove this boat at night a lot, or my Mark 1, is that you do quite often need just to put something across there just to get rid of the light at night. So I always used to keep a little tea towel or towel up there, as the glare tended to reflect a little bit around the cabin. The cabin space feels slightly smaller than the Mark II. It's very, very subtle, but the inside space is slightly smaller. The cabin is slightly less wide, as is the whole boat, and the length is slightly shorter than the Mark II. On this boat, you've got a Garmin VHF, which is just here, a remote control Bowthruster, and a remote control anchor windlass as well, so you can control everything from there. Of course, you've got your fly-by-wire Mecury throttle gauge, your controls for your Bowthruster, and then this really useful joystick system for the trim tabs. Very, very functional helm position, and there is a compass nestling down there as well. There's also a There's also a position here where you can put charts, mobile phones, anything that you wanted just down in there. And of course, you have these heating vents, which are great, which is just pumping warm air straight into the pilot and co-pilot seat. You've got carpet down on the floor, and that is also laid to a walnut flooring as well on there. So you've got both carpet or walnut flooring as options. Again, the walnut flooring was an optional extra on this boat as well. The rear space on the Axopar is really good, so you have this bench seat. I've got it in the up position here, but you've got space there for 3 or 4 people. And then, of course, underneath you have the cabin. The Axopar 28's named cabin for this reason. Back here you have a sleeping accommodation here as a double. Additional sun pad cushion I mentioned about earlier is under there. I love the little LED lighting touches throughout. The windows you can see out the side there. And of course you've got the access hatch at the back, so you can get in and out from the rear or allow light to come into there as well. You've got LED lighting throughout the boat, 240 sockets, and the owner actually keeps a little bar heater here, which just keeps the cool off during the winter, and then all of your isolators and switches. In fact, on the Axopar Mark 1, the switches are actually in a better place, because the Mark 2, they're right the way back in the cabin, so I like the fact they're brought forward a little bit, which is really nice. Now, a little trick, which I won't show you here, but I will put an overlay here, is you can see that this top section of the cabin can actually turn into another double bed. So this whole area, you spin these seats around and then slide these seats forward, and that creates another double bed up here. So if you are a family, you do have the option of having 2 double beds on board this boat. Some Axopars are fitted with fridges. This particular one doesn't, but it does have a cool box. So if I lift that open there, you can see just inside here you've got a cool box, so that's quite useful, and I'd probably put an ice pack or something on a warm summer's day, and that will keep that really nice and cool in there. And then under this one you've got an additional bit of work surface. Clip that up. You've got a bit more work surface there if you need it. I like the little touches where you've got the Axopar bags on the back there just to store things, and you can see that overall this boat really is presented in excellent condition. The roof itself is a manual roof. You just twist that bar and pull the roof open, and overall it is presented very, very nicely. And I have a lot of time for the Mark 1. I think it feels a really, really solid boat. You see the grab rails at the front, they're lifted higher on the Mark 1 than the Mark 2, and it just looks a really purposeful boat. Just give you another quick look around here. And I think that pretty much covers everything. So just a quick reminder, this is a 2017 Axopar Mark 1 cabin. Now it's a Model R, so it's the pre-runner to the Brabus line, but it's got lots of those lovely Brabus line features, so the black anodised rails, and it's got this beautiful hull colour with the grey. It really does look purposeful and fantastic. The boat's available right now from Parker Adams. It's here at Port Solent. If you'd like to come and have a look at it, we'd be delighted to show you this boat. Thanks as always for watching. If you haven't done it yet, please like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks as always.